Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again. HOI4, the new order. It's been a while, but we are back, and I'm gonna be playing as the Orderstaat Burgund right now, which is basically your boy Himmler. Not too cash money as a person, but hey, we'll make the best out of it, I'm sure. First off, the Unter der Schwarzen Sonne. The Orderstaat was not founded as a nation, but as a distraction. Hitler hoped that due to the rebellious nature of the French and Belgians, the Reichsführer's SS would be kept too busy trying to pacify the natives instead of consolidating his influence within the Reich. How ironic it was that the Führer himself would underestimate the resourcefulness of the Aryan mind. The Orderstaat has served as a perfect place for us to prepare away from the prying eyes of Germania. And when we step into their view again, it will shake them to their core. Jesus, not at all ominous. What the hell? We are very ahead of time, ironically. Damn. Our technology looking hella good. There we go. Resource gas efficiency as well, sure. We got some free civilian factories. We'll make even more civilian factories, I think. There's an 80. There's an 80. Actually, there's a 90. Let's put that up there. And the rest is 70, 70. 70. Yeah, let's start with that. That should be good enough in and of its own. And yeah, we can start up the game. Maybe. Jesus Christ, we have. It's mostly. Do we have the industry for that even? No, we don't. Let's actually have a look. We're using mostly MBTs and APCs. We're not producing nearly enough. So, which one is it? MBT? APC, there we go. Those ones need to be at the top apparently, because those are most of our units. Well, I say at the top, but I generally put them at the top. There we go. Good. And hopefully we'll be able to start something. The French state will also have to whoop-ow into oblivion. The old general's adieu. General Karl Heinrich von Stulpnagel stared out this window of his limousine, watching Ostparis shrink further and further into the distance. He had spent 20 years in the city, first as the head of the German military occupation, then in a nebulous defined advisory position for the collaborator government. Either way, his job had remained the same. Keep the Teutonic boot pressed on the Gallic neck. It was a job that he had performed admirably, but it gnawed away at him for decades. The orders were signed, the reprisal killings against resistant members' hometowns, the cattle cars full of people who would never return. There was much that he was willing to stomach for the sake of the fatherland. But sometimes it crossed the line. But there were other aspects of his duty that he carried out with pride. When the regime was reorganized and Himmler was appointed as his superior, tried his damnedest to keep the SS on a short leash, but everyone he trusted in the administration was suddenly demoted, arrested on suspicious charges, or suffered a tragic accident. His power in the Parisian bureaucracy waned, and he became little more than an informant, passing along Himmler's latest doings to Germania. Now he could no longer do even that. Truth to be told, he should have been feeling relief that he no longer had his burdens to stare into the abyss every day. But all he felt was terror at the thought of what they will do when no one is watching. Ah, interesting. A wise leader. The Reichsführer dismissed by his political rivals as the craziest man in the uniform, and in reality, he is the last sane man in the Reich. Press exit out. We shall very much see about that. Let's actually just... Yeah, Panzers. Well, actually just, yeah, in here. I don't know if they're all different, but might as well sort them, right? There we go. We do need some guns as well. Framing and contacts. And it's important in important matters of state. The presentation is everything. Something as major as a lavish award ceremony for a prominent general can have just as much of a political ramification as something as minor as the seating arrangement at a state dinner. And there's no exception when it comes to humble framed photos. For 2 decades, official state portraits of the Führer have been ubiquitous, whether it was young, dynamic vibrant of the 1930s, or the graceful aging conqueror of the early 1950s. Millions of blue eyes have loomed over the classrooms, offices, and sitting rooms of the Reich, and within the Orderstaat's borders, They have always been accompanied by a smaller, more tasteful black and white photo portrait of the Reichsführer SS, a way to exalt himself while remaining courteous and aware of his subservience. But no longer. Over the weekend, every SS officer in the Orderstaat received a new portrait. It was a painting of the Reichsführer SS in full regalia, with a peaked cap and overcoat, and in color no less, clearly meant to mimic his Führer. It was the exact same size, and even more shockingly, it was ordered to be hung at the exact same height as the portrait of Hitler. The members of the SS unflinchingly complied with this order, while the few dignitaries still representing the Reich in Ostparis quietly tut-tutted the move. Word would surely make his way to Germania. Interesting. A loyal army, And I saw the other one, the pure race as well. Hitler's first mistake in the creation of the Ordenstaat was allowing the Reichsführer to recruit as many of his followers as he pleased. To the degenerates twisting the first year, it seemed like the perfect idea. No more so-called fanatics marching past their homes, reminding them of the values that they failed to uphold. However, it proved to be nothing but a boon to the fledgling Ordenstaat. A bureaucracy in Germany once filled with French collaborators of dubious loyalty were replaced by legions of experienced, efficient, and above all, dedicated men. Yeah, maybe not the smartest move. I'll tell you that much. Oh well. We'll continue on. Initiation. The drums beat in the darkness of the SS cadet marched on the parade grounds, their only light being the torches surrounding the perimeters. There was electricity in the air and every one of them could feel it. There was the culmination of their training, the movement that they have been waiting for, the moment where they would no longer be boys under the tutelage of the Reich but men of the Waffen-SS. A bugle call rang out, and as brass branch played, SS marchiert in Feindesland as flags bearing swastikas, Sigeruns, black suns, and all sorts of Aryan symbols were carried out onto the stage. When that was done, the moments that they've been all waiting for began. They crisply raised their right hand in salute and recited the words they had spent weeks memorizing. They are all complete. Alright, a pure race. Aryan race teetered at the brink of catastrophe. The Großdeutsches Reich, their ancestral and spiritual homes, is rife with decadence and corruption. They believe that their status as the masters, rather than giving them the duty to be industrious, instead exempts them from all labor. They lounge about in palatial mansions, letting their minds rot and their bodies grow soft. Those in the Ordenstaat, however, shall not succumb to such degeneracy. Interesting. So we're probably gonna go after Germania at some point as well, I guess. That would be interesting. From cradle to grave. By emotions, I could not hold. The nurse walked in. Frau Hilda Müller, please fill this out. Notice of death. Your body had visible signs of Mongolism and was euthanized per law. We need a name for the forms. That's... What the hell? Your boy had visible signs of Mongolism and euthanized per the law. Damn. They killed that child. Of course, all for our race. She picked up the pen and shakily scrawled Lars in the name of the deceased because she didn't know if she could stay composed long enough to write all 8 letters of the name Siegfried. Then snatched it back and strode out, slamming the door. Damn. That is fucked up, my G. What are you doing? Step bro? This is as dystopian. You thought Germany was bad? No. This is gonna... I feel like this is only just a start. This is one of the many atrocities that will be committed. Also... What is this? Reduced supply consumption. Why do I care about this? What's our supplies? Oh, we need to also do this then. So the SS Legion in Walloon is questionable, the rest is loyal. Alright, we'll send some boys in there. That's good. Alright, We'll skip this one then. The global plan is currently locked. Cannot be activated until certain conditions are met. What does this do though? Wait, only one global plan can be active at the same time. I can't activate any of them right now. Oh, assassin strikes at Hitler. The Reichsführer SS sat at his desk, giddy with excitement. He had uncharacteristically taken a shot of schnapps to help settle his nerves, but he had dared not to take another. He did not want to miss the moment for it. Mein Reichsführer. Attempt, yes, he still lives. Oh well. Couldn't succeed, sadly. Sometimes some things had gone terribly wrong. Not only does Hitler still breathe, but he's also painfully aware of his own mortality. Someone will soon receive the blessings as the official successor. Looks like Himmler did not succeed. Very interesting. Speer. Uh-oh. We currently have a lot of in the reserve. Will this help? I think it will. You put a lot more officers in there. So that should keep us fairly safe-ish. Alright. We will start a plan though. And also kind of need a bit of a leader. Do we have a brilliant? No, we do not. Then someone with high, there we go. Offensive-minded organization. Oh, we don't have the points just yet. Almost, there we go. Good. Admit no fault. Alright, let's see what's up with this one. There are those who, if they knew the truth of the assassination attempt, would use it to defame the Reichsführer as a cowardly weakling, professing a failed ideology. They could be no further from the truth. The Reichsführer SS fully understands the meaning of National Socialism, and so-called ideologies in Germania continue to vomit out the degenerate lies in place of a sound theory. There is no such thing as a flaw in Nazism, only a flaw in the race implementing it. And the Aryan race has many flaws that must be expunged. There we go. Adjusting to new goals. Purge the rot. Paying a house call. The officers rapped on the door 3 times with usual military precision, waiting patiently for someone to answer, but nobody did. They were smart enough to figure that the van outside of their house, men knocking at the door, were bad news. The officers waited patiently for a few more moments before drawing a pistol and kicking the door in. He and his fellow Gestapo officer began clearing the house, room by room, drawing the kitchen too. As they proceeded up the stairs, they heard several gunshots echo through the hallways. They arrived at the master bedroom and found that an SS captain suspected of Francophilia after objecting to the labor conditions in the North Caln mines. He and his wife both lay in the corner, holding their head as Walther on the roof floor. What? Murder-suicide, likely to avoid being captured. Sounds like a great place to live in, huh? Expand the camps. Admit no loyalty. Only a slave would be content in a system where strong servants obey weak masters, and the Aryan race has been thrown off their slave mentality. We shall not take orders from the doggering fool in Germania, nor shall we acknowledge the legitimacy of simpering cronies vying for his throne. The Reichsführer SS shall be our guiding light, and we shall scorn those who prefer to huddle beneath the shadow of a lesser man. Uh-oh. don't have any more men. We can do it like this, right? Which one is this actually? This one, right? And we'll put in some more people in here. There we go. We got some loyalties in here, but we don't want to risk. There we go. This one we can retransfer away some here. Put them in here, I guess. There we go. Everything is purple now. We will gain. Hell yeah. And hell yeah. There we go, get supplies, and I'm guessing we can use these. We can only have 25 supplies. Our base supply consumption is 3 per month. Should war support or stability drop below 50%, we will require additional supplies. This starts at 1 extra per increase to 10% to 2 if it is below 0. And the supplies if below 50%, blah blah blah. Once active, a global plan cannot be cancelled at any time. And a portion of the initial investment. Alright, we don't have a global plan just yet. Oh, we need more equipment and supplies before we can actually do that. Simple examination. This is a new examination on National Socialism that all incoming officers are required to take. You have 30 minutes, pencils only, no talking, no leaving the room until the exam is complete. You may begin. The officer candidates sat all down and flipped open their booklets, hastily filling in circles and scribbling down answers. The question remained from mundane party history, when was Adolf Hitler appointed Chancellor, to bizarrely personal, have you ever had sexual fantasies involving a family member? They still answered just as diligently as ever. When the half hour had passed, the instructor stood up, collected the test, and stepped out of the room. The candidates just mostly sat and stared at each other silently, nonplussed and mildly confused about the purpose of the test. Next morning, 3 of their fellow candidates had disappeared from their beds in their barracks. Their names had been stricken from the roll calls, and their personal effect had all been removed from their lockers. Nobody felt a desire to ask what had happened to them, because deep down, they already knew. Whether it was because of something they had said on the test, or the SD having had eyes on them for some time and didn't matter, there was no point in dwelling on the fate of dead men. A simple letter. Reinhard Fried is loyal and capable servant of the HOI4 SS, so skilled that he has personally interest in managing the Deutsche SS after the Orderstaat establishment. His record is not spotless. He was unable to capture Hitler during the Reichsführer's coup, a failure some speculate was intentional. However, it did provide a silver lining and get him in the Führer's good graces. With Hitler's always eager to listen to the entire Deutsche SS at his back, Heinrich had become one of the most formidable candidates. Interesting. We need expand the project Gellerhorn. So what's this like? Alright. Everything is still loyal. That's good. Still have 25 supplies. Thousand skilled workers. Oh, where can we leech? We can leech some skilled workers in here. There we go. Will we lose those actually? I don't think so, right? We shouldn't. Oh, we did. We actually did. We need to get them out of somewhere. Call upon the butcher. So we send him a letter. This is a great arm to redeem yourself in the eyes of the Reichsführer. You are underwhelming performance in the past will be overlooked if our plans in Germany succeed. It's vital. Alright. I see. In the war, every defeat is due to human error, inability to properly anticipate the enemy, and failure to prepare oneself have doomed dozens of kings and conquerors to the dustbin of history. We, however, shall not be taken unawares. In the first days of the Orderstaat, the Reichsführer ordered the development of a nuclear early warning program called WOTAN. It was ultimately scrapped, but its infrastructure and resources can be reused for a greater purpose, not as a watcher, but as a harbinger. Alright, we're gonna be making nukes. A bunch of them too. It's very interesting. Drill the Waffen. The good Aryan always keeps his mind and body at peak condition, never letting himself fall into the morass of complacence. The Waffen SS, which contains the strongest and most devoted Aryan soldier in the Reich, has to offer, is no exception. Training must be frequent and rigorous to make sure that every soldier carries out his instructions exactly as ordered during the heat of battle. The time to test their mettle will be soon. Alright, interesting. Very interesting. SS will ooh, yeah. Black market rate. The men spoke in hushed tones, heads pulled low and jackets clenched tightly to their bodies. Even though they were sure they hadn't been followed by anyone, they never could shake the feeling that they were being watched. That was the worst part of these damnable SS thugs. At least under the Wehrmacht, a man could feel safe when he was indoors. Now nobody felt like he was truly alone, even in the privacy of their own homes, let alone surrounded by a dozen of other shady men, making dealings of their own. It was unnerving, to say the least. The man in the grey had extinguished his cigarette. Do you have it? I expect the rest of the payment next Sunday. As he handed to him, the door suddenly burst open. Men in black uniforms and grey style helms flooded the building. Submachine guns aimed at the crowd before them. Many of the men dropped to their knees, hands behind their heads in grim silence. A couple other frantically swallowed pills or barrels to blah blah blah. A couple tried to return fire, only to be swiftly cut down by soldiers. 18 men were taken into custody. Interesting. Yeah, definitely could be sleeping easier. Definitely seems like it. Oh, we got... This one's under full control, basically. Alright, we got some skilled workers. From here. People are very loyal in here as well. And we shall add some in here. There we go. Does that do anything? No, they still have a lot. That should help out, right? Currently have... Ooh. We have... laborers. We have 1,000 laborers in reserve. How come we can't send any more in here? Alright, well, the triumvirate is collapsed. Let's see. They're all supporting Charlemagne. Interesting. The ultimate deterrent. Yeah, let's go for it, yeah. Redouble the re-education efforts. There are many fine Aryan youth in the Ordenstaat who are genetically pure, but their minds have unfortunately been tainted by the teachings of the degenerate parents or educators. It is too late for the generator that preceded them, or the generation that preceded them. but there are still hope for them to be molded into the image of the ideal Aryan man and woman. The positive values of National Socialism must be reinforced, and the negative values of liberalism, Judaism, traditionalism, blah, 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 must be eradicated. For decades, Joshua zu Waldeck and Piedmont has served the SS loyally, has used his recent promotion to Reichskommissar of Caucasian to funnel Reichsmarks and resources to the Orderstaat budget. Several within the Sicherheitsdienst have called Josiah mentality into question in recent years, but were dissuaded by the Reichsführer SS insistence that Josias was as devoted as ever. However, the skeptics were proven right today when Joseph's regular money deposit did not arrive. Usual back-channel communications were utterly silent. People began to suspect the worst until Sicherheitsdienst spy was able to smuggle out a report Joseph had, in a fit of rage, abandoned the Reichsführer SS. Apparently, he organized a lavish parade for an anticipated state visit, but neglected to confirm whether his guest of honor could actually attend. Bizarrely believing this is to be a betrayal, Josias then gave a speech denouncing the Orderstaat as callous monsters. What the hell? They're all fucking lunatics. All of them. I have 1,000 laborers in reserve. What the hell do you want me to do, man? Alright, we'll see how this goes, right? There's actually some decisions we can take as well. What do they do? Advance the ultimate goal. Let's go start the counterplan. Security authorized eyes only. We are to proceed with the plan. The Reichsführer has authorized action to act against our enemy. Read the given material inside and decide to see fit our next course of action. With the activation of global plan, new actions become available to us. Completing national focuses and enabling decisions will progress our agenda considerably. Hello? Why did it stop? I should have waited, man. China, Russia, Italian sphere, Japan, Germany, USA. Unpleasant fighting. Oswald Pohl rapped sharply on the Reichsführer SS, toured 3 times as he always did, and stepped inside. He sat there at his desk, shuffling some papers. Upon seeing his old friend, he stood up and gave him a subdued smile and a curt nod, arguably the most warmth he has shown to any of his colleagues. Oswald, good to see you. I trust that you have the report on how to adjust our budget. Good to see you. I've run through the numbers and there's no way to balance the budget. If I did not believe it, I would not be telling you it. The numbers speak for themselves. Even if we receive the money and resources from USX black budget, you'll still only delay the inevitable. Every year, every month, you add more and more items to the budget. The sources of income continue to shrink. There are no French assets left to expropriate. There are no private German businesses to tax, and there is no sale of consumer goods whatsoever. I worked with you for decades, Heinrich. But this is beyond my capability. Telling me to make this work is like telling a general to win a war with an army of empty uniforms. We need immediate and drastic reforms in order to keep things from spiraling out of control by the end of the decade. Otherwise, we'll face an economic catastrophe within the next 10 to 20 years. I'll begin drafting a proposal for your consideration post-haste. Good. Dismissed. As he watched his salute, he almost felt a pang of pity for the poor fool. Over 30 years of loyal service, all pissed away in a moment of cowardice. He picked up the phone and dialed the Sicherheitsstaat. Man, how can you be this incompetent? I genuinely wonder. We're getting some men, though. Why can't we add any more? I've added some in here. Will this help? I wonder. can have some. We also have the opportunity to take some decisions, apparently. Where? Drill troops in Flandern. Where? Where's the decision? You know, I think I'll actually have to load up the game. But that is pretty much all the time I've left for the day. I hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you did. Hopefully I'll see you next time. And hopefully you have a nice day. Bye-bye.